Hey y'all, what's up? It's Niche and Niche today. I'm sorry, y'all. I guess we're in a joking mood today. But what's up, y'all? It's Adult and Boo Podcast, and we're about to get into a quick game today. And within this game, it's just going to be a couple questions, sort of like, would you rather? So I'll start it off and ask Tanisha a couple questions, and then she'll do a little spin off, and we'll just kind of see.
Okay.
So my first question is, would you rather have a really big wedding or a small family, mediocre wedding, or just a you and your spouse wedding?
I'm gonna go with the big wedding. It's gonna take some time to get there, so by the time we there, we might as well do it big.
Right. I agree. I think I want a really, really big wedding too. Yeah, I need everybody there. I need the whole 9 yards. So yeah, I'm gonna need a big wedding. Okay. Um. Would you rather? Would you rather have a white dress or a colorful dress? I've never heard nobody talk about that, and I always see people just do white dresses.
I love the white dress. I
Right.
ain't gonna lie. It may not have to be like white, like cream pearls and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go with a traditional. Being that it's the first time, I'm gonna stick to that pretty white dress. Now, whatever colors we do for the wedding, it'll be tied in there. But my dress,
Agreed.
it'll be white.
Because they said white is really for virgins.
Oh.
So I'm really trying to
So
figure out.
that's what the white dress is for?
Yeah, they said that like when people get married in white, that's like the white dress is for like virgins.
Oh, well, I might have to have like a tan.
I guess I would have a cream because
Yeah, I'm about to say something.
I don't think it's tacky to choose your own color, but I do think that it's traditional to do
white
that white
because I'm
dress.
gonna switch up for the party.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think that's where it'd be. I think it would be tacky to do.
I
mean, it would be different. It might not be tacky, but I just don't think it would look right to come down the aisle.
I see people do it now when they get married more than once. Maybe they're second, then they chose not to go with
because
white.
doing a colorful dress would give me a prom vibe.
Yeah.
That's what it would give me, like me going to prom and not getting married. So
why would you get married and then
Okay, that's a good question. I'm glad I thought about that one. I thought off at the top of my head, y'all.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, I'm gonna get into the ring question. Would you rather a heart-shaped ring or a pear-shaped ring?
A pear-shaped ring or a heart shape? I like hearts. I don't know. I just like hearts. I don't. I want my wedding ring to be in the shape of a heart. I don't think I want it in the shape of a diamond or an oval, a circle, a pear. I want it to be a heart, a real nice, pretty heart. Honestly, I wouldn't even care if it was a big heart or a small heart, as long as it's a heart.
Yeah, like it don't matter. The size matters in the sense.
Yeah.
But just make sure it compliment my finger
real good.
But I'm gonna go with a pear. I like a little classy, looking teardrop. Almost remind me of like a teardrop.
Okay.
Like
do you feel like your wedding, the wedding band need to be as blinged out as the ring? Or
no, I feel like the wedding band needs to be simple, just to complement the big ring. So even now, it can have a few down, but it doesn't have to be all extravagant like the actual ring.
Right. Okay.
Now for men, I see men have more simple bands. But I want my husband to have a nice band.
Because that's all they get.
Yeah.
So I just realized that women actually get 2 rings. Because they could get their engagement ring, but then they actually get something. They get the band when they get married with it. Yeah. But then men only get that 1 ring. So I would want, I would want baby to be iced out. I want that one finger to be iced out. Yeah. Not just gold and not just silver. And then Lord knows you go to the army, they get them little rubber bands. So
rubber band.
Yeah, like their bands be rubber. It's like they're not the real ones. It just So I guess nothing don't happen to it in the event of it. So,
but still, had that nice one.
Yeah, had that nice one
in the desert.
Yes, that's a good question. Okay. What's another one?
Outdoor, indoor wedding.
Indoor wedding. I don't know. I am going to have an outdoor wedding. I'm lying. I'm going to have an outdoor wedding. The only reason I am going to have an outdoor wedding because I am a woman of God. or whatever not. But I feel that God will allows you to love who you love. And because I date the same sex, I don't feel like it's appropriate for me to get married inside of a church setting. So I would prefer to have my wedding at like the beach or just a nice, pretty outside setting. But my reception is, however, gonna be in the inside or whatever. We're gonna be in the
Okay,
cool
yeah,
air
we're
because
gonna
we're
be
gonna be
cool
drunk,
air.
stuff like that. But yeah, my wedding is gonna be outside. Like it's weird. Like I know, people say whatever in the Bible, but that just had for me. That's my way of respecting God by having it outside and not inside of the church.
Church setting.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. The weather. It's gonna be strategically planned.
Yeah, mine's
so
gonna be
that I can
strategically
have
planned.
it. The main wedding, I need. That's hard because I want to
Yeah,
do half and half. Now the reception has to be inside. I want to be able to have a good time. I don't like bugs and all that. So
exactly.
spring wedding is cool for me
Right.
outside.
Mhm.
Outside of a venue, so that way we can leave from outside and go inside of the venue for the actual reception.
Correct.
So it can be outside, but it has to be a spring wedding.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, definitely. I think that we've been living long enough to kind of get an estimate of when it rains. Like in spring, of course, you're not gonna do May because you get May showers. April, May, June. June around the 3rd, the 4th week of June really be a good time. I think to like have a wedding, and then I know like the end of June starts summer, but I think that's a good time because it's not that much rain and it's not that hot. And then July come in, you got that steam and hot. Not finna play with you, and ain't gonna have nobody at your wedding. So yeah, I be trying to think of mine too because I hate that planning outdoor wedding in the rain that day.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick in April.
Yeah,
literally like right after that pollen go, right before we start to see the flies.
Right.
And mosquitoes.
Right.
So with my man out there, it better be like April. April is
or March. Isn't March
spring
too?
Yeah, March. April, March is like you getting a little bit of rain though at March. March you tend to rain on and off. April is literally like you wake up and it's that weather you don't have to have on a jacket, but then you ain't got to worry about.
Would your location be in South Carolina? Predominantly where we're from, because I know for me, if I did have a wedding outside, well, it wouldn't be in South Carolina. Honestly, the only place I can see myself having a wedding outside, and I know people think it's strange, but a lot of people get married there, is the zoo. The zoo has a designated area where you can get married, and it's really, really pretty.
Yeah, and then they garden.
Yeah,
the garden
is
so
nice. Pretty. But for me, it's always like if I go, I thought about it like I would probably have to, me and Q been thinking about that, like we would probably have to either help people pay for their rooms or something like that, get like a big place, because we want to have it like in Florida or somewhere we know it's gonna be hot and we don't have to worry about it raining.
Yeah, and like it is no doubt about it.
So that's pretty much like, that's why I was like, well, if we do plan it in that time, we just got to go outside of the states. That's just how it's gonna be pretty much. So
that's how it's gonna be. I mean, I don't know. It may wherever he asks me at.
Yes.
We will figure it out from there. I gotta get access first.
Yes.
But it's nothing to, I'm putting my hopes and my dreams on that day.
Oh, okay. Would you rather have a classic, simple reception, or are you gonna have like a big, wild, ghetto type reception? Like,
baby, them the kids got to go home at a certain time.
Yes.
We are not partying. I'm not partying with Braylon my wedding night. I want him to be able to perform. Right. And see his mom in the ceremony, my nieces and my nephews. But I feel like the way my family turned up, we do have fun with our kids, but by the end of the night, it's a wedding. And then honestly, I just want to be respectful. So that refers to kids, that refers to the elders in my family too. Because I'm here to turn up. Right. I love y'all, but I'm ready to celebrate.
Right.
I got siblings, I got cousins, I got aunties and uncles that want to see the ceremony and want to be there, and of course they want to enjoy a little bit of the party. But I know they're gonna creep out,
Right.
because they already know how we gonna get.
Okay, so are you gonna include that in the invitation? Like, kids must be gone by a certain
kids
time?
have to be gone because the bar is gonna be there. Nobody's monitoring if children is walking up asking for a drink.
Correct.
We did it, but my mama didn't go.
Correct.
And I ain't got time for ours to do that.
Right.
So like, yeah, I will inform everyone. I want y'all to be able to come, but at the end of the day, when it's time for that, turn up, because it's not gonna be classy.
Right.
Nothing about it gonna be classy, but
correct.
The decor. Ain't
nothing but the class,
but the decor.
I'm telling you, but the decorations,
baby.
Yeah, we get ratchet. Definitely. Oh my gosh! And you said you want Braylon to perform, so you want performances?
Yes, I do want performances. I want my brothers to perform, and I want my baby to perform. I don't want, it don't have to be nobody special coming in and singing. Because I have enough performers in my family. So I feel like that day I want my baby to do what he need to do and perform. He's a good entertainer.
Okay.
So give him the floor.
That's dope.
Or do something with his uncles or something. So.
Okay. I would love that. I'm gonna make sure my invitation in the mail. So
yeah.
I'll mail it off myself to myself. So it's fine. I'll be there either way it goes.
Yeah, it really don't even matter. You're gonna know either way it goes.
I'm telling y'all. All right, y'all. So that pretty much gets us into the topic of today of how long does it take to get that ring? Ooh. And so we don't have any special guests today. We are going to, however, continue this segment. We want y'all to be able to comment on this segment and give y'all detail. Give us y'all responses. And when we do part 2, we'll actually have a male on the show, and we're going to have a male to come in and pretty much pick back up from what we discussed today, because we're both women, and it's just, I don't want to be one-sided. We don't want to be one-sided. So the next time we will have a guest. So this won't be the first time y'all actually hear this topic. But we're just sending this today. We're just sending it around what us women think, how long it should take us to get a ring. Yeah. So I'm gonna let Tanisha go first. And Tanisha, how long do you think it should honestly take for somebody to propose to you and put a ring on your finger and know that you're wifey material?
I felt like I knew what I was gonna say, but then I don't know. I don't want to seem like it's a strict time limit because of the person that I am. Mm-hmm. So I'm up and we're just giving off our opinions and our situations that makes me feel like a certain time is correct.
Right.
So with that being said, it's going to take some time. I don't want it to be rushed. Being that I've never been asked to be engaged or be married, I felt like it hasn't came fast enough for what I give out. So with that being said, round about year number 7, I'm going based off my experience with my longest relationship, which was from 2014. So it's been about 10 years. And within that time, around about year number 7 is when I kind of got to the point where I just felt like I should have been asked. I felt like I should have been asked around about year number 7. 7 is my number. It means completion anyway.
Right.
So I feel like you go through different stages and things like that. And that's that time where you should be wrapping it up of getting the feel of knowing someone in the different seasons.
Right.
Seeing them up, seeing them down, seeing them with, seeing them without, seeing them grieve. Because all of those things determine if you're going to be with someone long term. And it's important for me. Some people might be like, oh, it shouldn't take that long. But I don't want to waste the getting married to get a divorce.
Correct.
Because I didn't take the proper time to learn my person.
Exactly.
To make sure that, of course, things change and people change, but at least we're solidified enough to know, like, we can work through things because we done been through it before.
Right.
I don't want to be married to go through things for the first time. I don't understand that logic.
Right.
Because if it doesn't work and you're not compatible,
Mhm.
either where it go, you're going to be going into the place of separating.
Right.
So I don't need to be married to separate.
Right.
I don't want that.
Okay.
So
I
right
love
about
your answer.
yeah,
Okay.
it's convenient for me. It's
Right.
hard to answer that question because it'd be like, well, dang, that's a long time, but that's just enough time. That's enough time for me. That lets you
Right.
know that I done been with you. I'm willing to be with you. And if it whatever wasn't working, trust me, it would have ended within that time.
Correct.
So I feel like that's just
Yes.
enough time for me. I got a little tired after
Right.
about year number 7, starting to question. It caused, started to make me question things as to why I haven't it happened yet. And
Right.
that's not a good place to be as a woman,
Right.
because if you know you're giving your all, you get in that expectation mode, then it's like sometimes people can gravitate
So like
towards
year
it, or they
1,
run
year
back.
2, year 3, getting married wasn't really even in your
No.
mind. It was just we dating, and I need to make sure I know this person.
Yeah.
But by years 5, 6, you're like kind of like, I think I'm, we at a point I should be married. I'm doing this and that, and year 6,
because
like, okay.
we're learning each other. Year 1, 2, and 3, you're getting to know family.
Right.
That's a biggie.
Yes.
People get with people and don't realize who they got, and they acting like it's something new when your partner shows something that you all you had to do was take your time and figure out.
Exactly.
So yeah,
I love your answer to death, because I definitely agree with that. I think that us as women, we automatically think we marriage material. I don't know a woman who don't think like, oh, I shouldn't be married. Like, oh, I'm not wifey.
Crazy.
That's the truth. So for women, some people just so quick to say, oh, it don't take that long. Why? Because you think that you're that person, but in reality, a man got to know you. Like, just because you think that, or you got good qualities, but what about the ugly stuff about you? And the same with a man. So just to kind of piggyback off you, I've been in my relationship 6 years, and it wasn't until this year where I said I'm ready to be proposed to. So like you said, like it took us 3 years to really get to know each other, and like you said, family come big in that. I don't see how people could be in relationships and think that family is not a big factor. I'm a family oriented person, and I love my family. We always together, and if you don't want to be around my family, that's already a problem, because I'm already going to do a lot of stuff with my family. And I want to meet your family, and I want to be able to talk to your family. Like, family is a big thing for me. Knowing how you gonna be if you lose a job, if somebody dies, like how you gonna, what I'm saying, you ain't got no money, like just seeing you in all different 4 seasons is important. Like, are you gonna be a quitter? You gonna be a go-getter? Like, you gotta give people time. You done got married so quick in a year or 2 because you think something going. Child, man, be done came in, swept you out your feet, buying you everything, getting this and that. Next thing you know, 2 years later, he done lost his job, ain't got no ambition to get back up, gonna support on you. Or you be done married somebody that never put their hands on you before. Then next thing you know, you married, now you in an abusive relationship, something you never signed up for. Or you done married a mass manipulator, and you don't know that because you didn't take your time. I don't have nothing against people who get married quickly, but from what I've been through and from what I've seen, everything takes time.
It makes me be like, I'm not judging y'all situation, and then I'm not anticipating on it to be bad, but don't be foolish and not think about the moments that y'all haven't talked about.
And I've literally seen some crazy things, like just even things around me. Like, I've seen people get together, be engaged, be divorced, now you with somebody else, and it's all a crazy situation, and people just move on so fast. But I feel like people are so set on, I don't know, I just think social media runs a lot of things, and I think people are just like so set on like, oh, I got this first, oh, I got this. Like, no, it's not that. And I know for me, if I'm not proposed to by year 7, then it is time for me to date other people and open my horizons. But when the next person comes, it's gonna take at least when the next person comes, I think it would take me about 4 years though. Because I don't think it would take me 7.
And I feel like you saying that because like you learn yourself
Self.
through that too.
Exactly.
So by the time you
You
got
get into
there,
your
you know,
it's
man,
really
stepping into like
yes.
real womanhood.
Right.
I didn't really like. I turned 28 this year, and like this is the year that's like been the unveiling year.
Yes.
In a way, like I not say I felt like a kid, but like I really wasn't. Like I was saying I'm a woman, and I take care of my cat. I just do the things that people do and women do in their relationship and they for somebody. But then like this year really kicked in like my womanhood, what I'm looking for.
Exactly.
Not even looking for in other people, what I'm expecting out of myself, so that I can completely give myself to somebody and then like have the same open mind and open arms, because for me not happening before, it has like shut some things. Certain things I'm just like not even willing to do anymore, not even willing to like give somebody that extra of me. Like it's real surface.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like
right.
I ain't trying to get too deep in with people or men in relationships because of me feeling like, oh, I've done this before, and what made it not good enough for me to be chosen.
Right.
In a way, when you know what you give, like I know I'm not perfect, but nobody is. But if you're getting nurturing, you're getting prayer, you're getting time,
right.
you're getting effort. It's hard. We only got 24 hours.
Right.
If I can make sure I put some of them hours into somebody else, yeah.
Right.
Like people don't do it. People choose what they want to do.
Right.
So if I'm choosing you, like be thankful in a way. And I think people take it for granted.
Yes.
They take it for granted because they see, oh, it's so normal for people to do that, and people to date and be present and see you here and there. Like, no, it ain't enough time in a day to see somebody every day.
Right.
So if I'm getting to the point I'm going to see you every day, I like you.
Right.
And like me back.
Right.
I'm
telling you, for real. That is, yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
I used to have the fairy tale thing when I was young, because it just, I saw my aunts do it, like go for the marriage. But I saw my aunts learn themselves through marriages, and they like how they are now. Some of them are with, and some of them are not.
And that's how it is for me too. I can't really. I've seen one of my aunts go through marriage, and I'm just like, okay, that's not that it's not for me, but I know what I really want to sell. But I also see my uncle and my aunt, and they are very much so happy, and they been through whatever they've been through, but they've been able to work it out, like get through it. And that's the main thing. Like when you know the person you dating to before you get married, I think that it comes into play. Like when you dating, like oh, I can marry this person because if something happens, and let's just say, like, I know some people, they get mad at their spouse, and the first thing they want to do is start entertaining somebody else.
Yeah.
Or it's some women, they might, oh, I'm mad, I'm about to go cheat on this man. Or a man get mad and he want to go do the same thing. And if you've been going through that for years, why would I want to marry somebody and we married and then I got to go through that? So like, versus, oh, we're gonna argue, but we're gonna go to sleep together at the end of the night. Now that's somebody I can marry, because I don't have to worry about you doing immature, childish things like that. And I think that's a part of, honestly, adulting, like getting there. Like you can't feel like, oh, I want to be married, but I still got all these childish ways or whatever not. And that's just being real, and that's coming from me too, because I know for me, when I was in a relationship and a boyfriend and somebody made me mad, I will go entertain somebody else. My younger days, I will go do it. I never really went and had sex or intercourse with people, but I very much so went and flirted with a ton of other people and spent time and gave my time to other people. And that was something I had to learn, that's childish. Like when you're in a relationship, every time you get mad, you're going to go entertain somebody else. That's childish. And after a point, it honestly get old, because the people I'm entertaining are people I really don't even like. I'm just doing it because I was mad. So I'm irritated by trying to feel like I'm getting my lick back or, getting even. But it's
Yeah.
childish though. And why would I want somebody to marry me when I got that childish, stuff in me? So I think that just comes with growth. Unless you are already born a mature person.
Yeah, no,
And,
because some people
some people
mature,
are. And some
like,
people have went their whole life and never cheated. And,
I
I'm with
honestly
that.
can say, while being with Brandon, my kid's father, even when we got upset with each other, I never stepped out.
That's good.
I didn't do anything up until we officially was not together.
Right.
Now that's happened probably 2 times within us. But I met this man in 2008 as kids. We started as children, getting to know each other. So I gave somebody me when I gave somebody the version of me then that I thought was the best that I had being so young to someone, and I stuck by that code. Like, we are here for each other. I can honestly, and some people be like, "Oh no, you did." I really did. I don't have to entertain multiple people for me to feel satisfied.
Exactly.
I barely like people anyway.
Right. Well, when we was in high school, everybody knew Denisha was not going to cheat on Larry.
Yeah.
That
so
was
that's
just that.
How
even
I
when
was.
he went to
That's
jail,
how I was.
He didn't. And it wasn't until I was fed up. And before I did, I was just like, I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah.
And I left that. I told him, I'm not doing this anymore. So, and when I made that decision, and once I was able to, before I can't even say I stepped out because I told him I wasn't doing this no more. But before I made that decision, I was like, I'm going to let him know. Whether that call be this week, next week, I'm going to let you know. But like once I really made it out, like I'm not doing this no more and I'm going to move on. Yeah, I did that. So it is easy to be faithful, but it's really been hard. But I'll never lie and say that I have not done it.
It has to be reciprocated though. It was easy to be faithful because I was given that respect.
Right.
I was always given an option. Nobody hit me in my inbox, and we all went to high school with each other.
Right.
I ain't have nobody hit me in my inbox coming to me as a woman. Nobody came to my door. We didn't do none of that. We barely argued in front of our one kid that we have. Mm-hmm. So it was easy to do that to somebody because that's what I was given.
Right.
So while we're giving each other honesty and love and all of that, at a certain time, I'm like, well, I'm deserving of it. Like, I'm a good girl. I done been a good girl.
Yeah.
I know how to be good when I need to be good. And I don't think people realize that. Like, you get with somebody and you change them as a person or make them. I realized, like, I really wasn't being able to be myself.
Right.
Just being young. And so it's like, as I got older, I got a little bit more voiceful, a little bit more stepping into me, realizing what I like and what I didn't like. And I was able to grow with a man.
Right.
We didn't necessarily grow together all the time, but we elevated, we progressed. It wasn't stagnant, but it just didn't work for me because I just never got the asking to be your wife, and literally that turned me off because it's like, well, that was a lot of time.
Do you think that if he would have asked you that you would have been making the right decision to this day?
If he would have asked me, no.
Right. But now,
I wouldn't have been able to say yeah back then. We both didn't know like our real selves then. Like we had not been through certain things that like solidify my womanhood and his manhood. And that's completely 2 different lanes. So yeah, I was ready as a woman quicker than he was as a man. But I feel like even if he would have asked, it would have been I'm not the nagging type. But it probably would have came out of me putting it in your ear like it's an ultimatum, like now you got to do it or not. Yeah. And I don't want it like that. Yeah. I wanted it to naturally like because then I feel like, yeah, you really thought about this shit, like you really know what you got. Mm-hmm. Like, you're really ready to take that step. So I would have said yes, probably if we was together as adults.
Yes.
I'm not back in high school as kids.
Right.
No. It wasn't, that was like that love. But this is another kind of love. Like at another age, it's a whole another kind of love. It's not the kiddie no more.
And I say that because I think about that now. Like when I think about my 2 long relationships, Larry was like 5 years and Q's been 6 years. And then I just with whoever else in between, like just dating and messing around. But like it's a big distinctive difference. Like I remember when I met Larry, I thought we was gonna be married, and everybody else thought that. And
Yes,
I think
yes,
about it
Lord.
now, like, girl, if we would have been, we probably would have been divorced by now. But I probably would have had kids by now. I probably would have been miserable. I probably wouldn't even be honestly successful like I wanted to be, because there was a lot of things he was holding me back from, and it would have been crazy to marry somebody that I was truly like seeing them for what it was.
Yeah.
Like I had, it was like crazy. Like he was like stealing my money from me
Yeah.
behind my back. You know, to support his habits. It was, you know, begging him to get a job. I get money, or I had a job, and I was literally splitting my paychecks in half with him just so he could have some in his pocket. And when I got tired of that, you know, we went to jail. Then I look at it now, like I'm with Q, and when it was with her, I never had to ask for anything. Like off the bat, when I met her, like she was buying me food.
Yeah.
You need a ride to work? Give me a ride to work, because I was taking the city bus, and I was taking 2 buses to get to Flying J to work. I was staying with my aunt, and I had to catch the bus from Gordon Street over there, and catch it to the bus station,
and then
catch the next bus station to Flying J. And nobody ever used to help me out. I did everything by myself. And then when Q came into my life, you need a ride to work, I'm gonna give you a ride to work. You need a ride to school, I'm gonna give you a ride to school. Then let me take the bus. I was sick, you need some soup, something like that. Like all of that. And this was like still my auntie, like, and we both worked overnight, and she would get up and still like do all that for me. I'm like, this girl's really helpful. You know, then like we moved in with I moved in with her or whatever, and like you said, like we just started seeing certain things about each other. But I was head over heels, and if she would have asked me in our first 2 years to marry her, I would have said yeah. But then we had to learn each other, and I'm thinking like, what if we were divorced? You know what I mean? Like imagine me rushing, and that was just me being heads over heels by the things she was giving me, because I never had it. And I was so off of a high of a love off of that it was taken away from us really getting to know each other. And once we got to know each other, we had our little issues or whatever. Like, we would have been divorced right then and there. Yeah, but now we're at a point where we done learned each other, been through enough. She done been through her good and bad. I done been through my good and bad. She done lost family. I done lost family. Like we done really been there with each other. The most hardest times I think that people could go through. And yeah. So, and I knew that I was ready to marry her. Like if everything was like tumbling down in my world, and I was just like able to fall in her arms and cry and feel safe and all of that, or
security and all of that.
And that security is the main thing for me in a lot of aspects. I was like, I'm ready to marry her, and I know that I'm a damn sure good spouse, and I have her back. So I'm like,
you know, when you sure yourself,
when you sure of yourself, and just like you said, you give good love. Like honestly, I can't think of a person that I dated that I didn't give. I didn't give the best version of me,
and
myself.
And I had to sit back and I had to think, like, you know, am I just looking at it from my eyes? Like, what do my spouse really think about me? Like, do I give the love that I'm saying that I give? Even though I know that I am, like, is it being received for the other person as the same type energy? And now I'm sitting down and think about it. Maybe that's part of the problem. Not like you want it how you want it, but I know what I'm doing. So like, I didn't.
Did you ever ask him?
I'm about to say, like, a lot of times sit down and ask and be like, well, like, are you satisfied?
Yeah.
We've had check-ins on what we need to work on.
Right.
But like with me, person-wise, like outside of being a parent, a mom. Are you satisfied with me as a person? Like, am I your type of person that you would date if it was somebody else? Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't want to push off me giving, and expecting it back from a person. And that's not, first of all, love language is important.
Yes, Lord.
The way that they communicate is important. Because I wasn't as voiceful when I was younger. Now,
I wish I would have had my book for today too, y'all. I don't want to get up. They need to get that book. Y'all need to make sure y'all get the 4 Love Languages book. That is a very good book. I got that in my counsel session. Knowing your partner's love language is definitely important, like you said. And the reason why checking is important, because you, like you said, you think you loving somebody because that's how you know how to love, but you really need to make sure that you are filling up your partner's cup. Like make sure your partner cup is being filled in the way they want it and
Yeah,
not
in the
how
way that they
you think
would
it's
need to
supposed to be.
receive their
Yes,
love.
everybody
Don't
doesn't.
do it the same.
It's so different.
Yeah, and I
But-
wasn't sitting down thinking about none of this literally up until like this year. And
Right.
then, like I had been getting approached by dudes, and it came down to the how old are you? Literally just happened the other night, and I'm like, I'm 28. And I looked at myself and said, yeah, I'm 28. And
Yes.
then I said, well, how old are you? And he said 24. I was 24.
Okay.
Like, baby,
What
I
I do with
ain't
you?
I
don't
got
got
time to even go down this road, because what I learned at 24 is complete in 4 years.
Correct.
4 years from the age of 24, 25 when I blossomed into a lady. 28, man, my mind.
That's a year.
My mindset is.
I hope that
different.
it's like that for all women, because we all think we grown, and I look back at all. Well, actually, like that's when I turned 28 when I made my post or whatever, and I was like, yes, like year 28 has been. It was going into 27, but going to 20, I was like, that was my year. Like, I'm a woman now, and I realized like it's time for stuff to come to an end. I feel bad for a lot of people who can't get to that level, and it takes them past 30 something.
Yeah,
but now
I got it at
I'm 28 and I'll be 29 this year, and I know for a fact that my 20s have taught me so much. And the woman that I am going to be and that I have transitioned into by 30 is going to be like, who is that?
Yeah, so that's
like,
why I'm scared. I'm scared. I done got
I'm not
scared
like
in a bad way. I'm
scared for other people.
I'm anticipating because, baby.
Because people think they know you and they don't know you.
And when this head get on straight and I line up with God and He put me where I need to be, it's going to be time ending on a lot of areas in my life. And this year, simple things like I realized like I haven't been smoking as much. I may have taken a shot or two more,
right?
But smoking was big for me. And then I realized like when we started this podcast, you could ask my sister and them. I'm just like, I haven't been like wanting to. I don't even got time in my day no more.
Yeah,
they do.
And it's not even that. It's not even funny. Just like, I got real responsibilities. And when you mature and adult, you like, okay, that take away my time. It make me lazy.
It take away my energy. My energy was one of the most things that I realized this year. I had to be selective where my energy is going.
Yes.
And that's really big. I'm like, I have not been so like sure of keeping my peace. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not concerned. Not saying I'm not concerned, but like I realized like I get too vested into. It could be people and situations and not really give myself that same energy that I put out into everybody else.
Right.
So this year was that year of like focusing on you and shit. Like, honestly, you ain't got time to worry about nobody else but yourself right now.
Right.
Situations popped up to where it's like you got to realize like you got you, and you actually have to start to do more for Braylon. Like just because you mother. It's levels to it. It's certain things that these kids need at certain ages. You know, moving, stepping out independently. All of that is big for me this year. It's a lot because I'm just so used to my family. Right. And but so
like to kind of as far like with Braylon, and who knows, maybe you and your child's father will get back together one day. Y'all could be married. Who knows?
I'm not anticipating.
But whoever that mystery man is for you, if it's outside of your child's father, before you decide to marry that man, is it important that him and Braylon have like a relationship or you know whatever how it is? And
I mean the reality of it is that
do you feel like you need Braylon's permission before you would marry that person? I really would like to hear somebody's perspective.
Yeah, but I got a boy. Right. I got a son. His dad ain't going nowhere, so it's not like for permission, but to soothe everybody's mind and heart, because at the end of the day, you know, I've been fortunate to have a child's father that only has one kid, right, and that deals with me. Right. So I don't want to seem like I don't want it to be like, oh, I just need approval from them. But I just need it to stay smooth as it is, and respectful in a way. So as long as I approach it respectful, and I see that my kid is like his heart is good, because he's a happy kid, but he only 9. He going on 9. Yeah. So it's gonna change, and it's like I don't want to take him through unnecessary changes that he don't understand, because is my life.
Right.
Like, you know, you're the kid and I'm the parent. So
Right.
we have to separate it at some point, but I need for you to be cool with
Right.
mom,
With the
with how
decisions.
mom moves.
Right.
And so that way you feel secure because your
Mhm.
daddy ain't going nowhere. So it's like
Yeah.
nobody bringing somebody into your life, but at the end of the day, it will become a relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have to ask that because I don't want to say just us black people because it could be any race, but from my childhood experience, and I know a couple others, anybody my mom dated, she never asked permission if we liked them. And I think in these days, it is so important to really know how your child feels about the people that you're inviting to your home. I know for a fact I have friends who have dads that marry, another woman. They got their stepmom or they marry that person, and they don't even get along with the stepmom or the stepdaddy, or they don't like them. And I'm like, how can your mom or your dad have married someone that don't like you or have an interest for you or never show a type to treat you as if you're their own? So that's important
part
for
of
me
how
too.
you being raised.
Yeah.
Because we wasn't raised like that.
Right.
It was my mama and my daddy, but she always made sure we had our relationship.
Mhm.
And then my mama only got married once.
Okay.
So we got to know him, which is crazy, from going to sing as he played the drums before he became my mom's husband. And then it was real big. I could tell my mom made sure that we approved of it before she took it in.
And I love that.
She just and not even saying asking, but to make sure we was all right. You know your kids.
Yeah.
Making sure your attitudes didn't change,
right.
Or how you move, all of that, all those signs.
They're there. You can tell when your child likes someone you're dating. Because they start acting bad or
something
they get quiet or, and that should take the light bulb. So I think that's also important to consider when you have kids. And see, me, I don't have kids. I don't have that to think about.
Don't let nobody say it's not important.
Yes.
Oh, you ain't got to worry about their opinion. Yes, our kids grow up, and yes, we become other people in our own life and find other people.
Right.
But at the end of the day, while you're raising your child, why not raise them in the best situation that you can provide for them? And
it'd be different if mama did. Yeah, it'd be different if Braylon was 25 and you met someone and you don't necessarily need his approval because he in his own life and you in your own life, and y'all don't have to worry. Maybe they don't have to come around as much or whatever not, but definitely that. So that makes a lot of sense.
And then I was thinking, Minnie, do you mind stopping it, please?
Yes.
And then I was also we was talking about marriage, and then I realized, like, talking to the older folks, one thing that bothers me and I go back and forth with is that, I'm not staying with somebody keep getting hurt to figure out that you got to hurt me that much to prove to me that you love me.
Exactly.
No. It worked for that generation. It won't work for this generation.
Right.
I believe that having that mentality, that all of the secrets and the stepping out and all of the things that created childhood trauma and change that we as adults have to deal with now and show our kids different is very important.
Right.
I don't need my son to marry a woman to be figuring yourself out and hurting somebody else through your process.
Right.
Because as we see, it seems to be black people, white people do it too. But somehow you got a sister that you didn't know about 13 years later. But my grandma telling me, don't let nobody mess with you.
Right.
But in a way, he messed with you.
Right.
These days, we're about to beat his ass up.
Yeah.
But back in the day, y'all
they let it roll over their shoulders. And
that's not teaching strength to me.
Yeah.
That's teaching deal with trauma and problems, and in a way make yourself less of a person.
Yeah.
To not demand somebody do right the first time.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing with a mistake. Of course it happens. Repeated mistake, we got a problem.
Right.
It's not a mistake.
Right. Definitely.
So we were sitting down thinking about that, and I'm like, I really want the kids, don't be with somebody long term and be like, oh, yeah, we go through things, but don't take nobody through the ringer.
Right.
Literally be by yourself. And figure yourself out first.
Right.
Because you can control, by the time you figure yourself out, you can prevent a lot of situations that happen around you. While you're figuring yourself out with being with somebody, you can't help But when situations come up, you got to learn. If you did it this way this time, you ain't gonna do it that way next time.
Right.
But I would rather people to learn that on their own. That whole narration of the older folks stayed together for 20 plus years and all of that was going on.
Listen.
Like, no, that to me, that's not good advice. It's not teaching strength. It's not teaching what Black women is trying to teach their daughters, to be strong and be sure of yourself
Right.
and accept only what you want to accept.
Right.
Like, yeah, I didn't like that. And I was thinking about that and I'm just like, I can only imagine like what grandparents and stuff went through. Like, that's not cool.
It's not.
But then they be real hard on teaching us like how to be.
Yeah.
But when
I guess it's because they look at it like they probably wish they didn't go through that. And you can't. It was a generational thing, like you said. And our generation do have a little bit more common sense. But when you think about it, they just do some of the same ignorant stuff. Because like we said, look at how we really talk, like 4 to 7 years. We feel like that's acceptable time. But you got them now. 5 months, 6 months, 1 year. It take me 2 weeks to fall in love. Right. It take you 2 weeks to fall in love.
He might be a killer.
Yeah, you probably been. That means you'd have been in love 73 times. I'm pretty sure of it. Because I know for me, I might tell people I love them.
Been in love.
I've been in love in my life seriously 2 times before.
Yep.
And I've probably dated 20 people. But like actually being in love 2 times before.
Yeah.
Twice.
I
That's
can
it.
literally say that because those were the longest.
Yeah.
Those were the times where it took patience and
correct.
And yeah, that was love.
Right.
It may have been loved on a younger level, but it was definitely love. It like I said, it doesn't compare to nothing at 28. Like this love, Lord Jesus, the love that you gonna give me next, God, I'm ready for it.
Right.
Like, he better be ready too.
Right.
I'm playing no game.
Yes, that was definitely a good discussion today. I really loved everything we talked about it. I can't wait until we get a male on here. And, within the next week or so and get their opinion because I can't wait to see what a male is going to say. I think that's going to.
I feel like that's going to give the
women.
It's going to be a good open topic. Like I really want our viewers to really chime in. It's going to be important to send in your comments, send in your little short stories of how you feel like your situation is different because everybody's situation is different.
Yes.
It's not one way to look at it, and we're not here to give y'all one way. We completely got 2 different situations.
Exactly.
But can see similarities in both.
Correct.
And, navigate from there. So, of course, having a male is going to be even more insight on. Then we get to, like, really ask, like, do you get the love that what we be saying that we give you? Like, how you receive it? Like, do you really get that from a woman? Is that what really made you pop that question?
Right.
Like, what did she do?
That made you know
that made you pop
that she was that one. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, you are.
Correct.
I need to know that because I keep on.
Correct. Yes. So thank y'all for tuning in. And like we said, in the comment section below, drop y'all's answers and y'all responses on how long do y'all think it takes to get a ring. And then we want y'all to tune in with us next week when we have a male visitor on here to give his opinion. And all right, y'all, we'll see y'all next time on this Adultable podcast, y'all. I'm talking too fast. I must be thinking about that ring now.
All right.
Okay, the conversation got me going like I need that heart-shaped ring on my finger now. So yeah. But anyway, we see y'all next week.